welcome back to the Scrappery. Today I'm going to bring you another 8.5 by 11 layout using the gorgeous Belle Kits. So I'm going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of white paper, or cardstock, excuse me, that I treated with a little bit of gesso kind of in the middle, a little bit. So and I let it dry, and now I'm going to get a little bit of mixed media going. I've got that beautiful teal that came a couple of kits ago. I'm going to use the orange that came in this month's, and then I'm going to use the pink that also came in one of our color kits. And I am just going to dilute it a little bit with water just so it's not quite as intense. Even though I did dilute that teal with some water and it's on white gesso, it got very bold and brilliant color going on there. These Kaiser mists are extremely pigmented, extremely. Now I'm kind of wishing I would have stopped here. I kept going, and for me, mixed media is a little bit like makeup, less is more. And I'm going to have to remember that for next time. So now I'm doing what I kind of like to do, which is put a little bit of splatters on top of the same colors, just so the colors don't get too muddled and they don't turn brown or get mixed into weird colors at all. And then I am just picking it up with my paper towel so it's not too dark. And then when it's on gesso, it takes kind of a long time to dry. So now I'm going to move on to this cut file. This was just a free one from the Silhouette store. And I'm going to use my white gel pen to trace that and cut it out because I don't want to leave any marks on that beautiful white paper that I cut it out with. Then I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow Mono Aqua to glue it on. And then you won't be able to see any glue if it is oozing out the sides there at all. And then I'm going to do the same one. These are just 3x4 offcuts from the pattern paper that came in the kit this month. I was going to use them for 3x4 filler cards for Project Life, but I'm getting a little burnt out on Project Life again because I've been doing too much of it. So I'm just going to switch over to do some 8.5 by 11s for a few weeks and kind of reset my Project Life clock a little bit. I've been doing a lot of it. So there I'm happy with that, and now this is where things kind of go bad. That is kind of, to me, too much color on top of too much color, but you'll kind of see what happens at the end here. There I grabbed a glassine bag that comes in the kit, usually that is going to have your sequin mixes in it, or it'll come in that bits and pieces kit. So I just threw some of the sequin mix in there from this month, added a little bit of chunky glitter from my stash, and sewed it shut with my sewing machine. I'm going to use a little bit more Tombow Mono Aqua to get that all glued on because when there is gesso on your paper, you need some extra adhesive because that gesso will cause things to not really want to stick down. So there I'm doing one of the doilies that came in the kit. I'm down to half of a doily. Oh, I'm panicking. Need more doilies. And then here is one of the larger chipboard frames, and I'm using also some Tombow Mono Aqua, and that I'm going to give a little bit of time there to stick down. There are some pop dots. I'm going to pop up that little sequin pocket that I made just so it doesn't fall into kind of that gutter there. There is a 3x4 black and white that I printed out of my youngest daughter. That was us hanging out in the backyard on Mother's Day. It was a gorgeous day. And then this is going to be titled Lovely Happy You because I really love to use 3 different types of things in my titles. Usually I do 2, but this time I was able to do 3. And then I'm going to use some pop dots also on the thickest part of the letters there because that obviously won't lay flush, so that's sticking up and above. So Lovely Happy You. And then I decide I need some more color sticking out. And this is where it just goes even worse. So now it's getting kind of splotchy. And it's getting more splotchier. And I got some on the glassine bag. Can you tell I was hurried making this video? It was Memorial Day weekend here in the States, and we had company over for 5 days. I had 0 access to my scrapbook room, and I got off of work today and panicked and hurried to kind of put this together. And then I got teal Kaiser mist on my Silhouette cut file there. So then I was super panicking. So then I figured, oh, I'll just do some more packaging technique. That'll help, right? No, it doesn't always help. And now the bottom part of the page is not treated with gesso, so now I'm getting more of a bold color where the gesso isn't. And I'm still just kind of going with it. There is my journaling that I typed out beforehand on my typewriter, and it just says hanging out in the backyard on Mother's Day. Then I'm just going to go through and see if there's anything I can just tuck behind there. I wanted to have another element of that blue in there, so I tucked that up there. And then I toyed with using those gold numbers to put in the date, which was like 5/7, I think. That was the 7th of May, I think. And then I decided to use that tag that I messed up the date on a couple of videos ago. And I'm really loving that tag, but I don't want to use all of it. I want to save some of it for my next layout. So what I ended up doing was sticking that to my Mink machine actually and tying it twice since it was sticky. And then I'm going to tuck that up there to kind of cover up where I got pink Kaiser mist on my glassine bag. So that's a tip. If you mess up, just cover it with something else and it works. So I'm just trying to figure out what else I want to add here, and then I go for my bitty blooms because I still have like maybe 6 or 7 of them left from this kit, and then I still have maybe some white and pink and teal left from previous kits because man, when they give you bitty blooms, they give you a big pack of them. So now I'm going to dig in my previous kits really quick under my desk and see what I've got going on for some extra colors. So I grab a pink and a teal, and I'm happy with that. And now this is where things really go bad. I stamp the date upside down. So I think, oh, I'll just cover it with a sticker. I'll just keep going. My kids were fighting in the background. The TV was blaring. It was a rough night. So I thought, oh, I'll make a little cluster here. No, that just didn't happen. So I'm going to hit it with some more Heidi Shine, and the Heidi Shine is really wet, and it gets really wet in the Kaiser mist that hadn't dried yet, and it just kind of goes haywire. So anyhow, the lesson I learned was I just shut the video off because I was basically done anyhow, and what I did was peel the whole thing off, add some more Tombow Mono Aqua. I stuck it on a clean piece of 8.5 by 11 white textured cardstock, added some sequins and a little bit of Heidi Shine, and everything was wonderful. So here are some close-ups, ladies, and I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.